Alright, so did I get it right? The guy's burning his old rackets because the new Clash is so good.
Yeah, they never exaggerated in the commercials, eh?
Oh, never. Oh. What's up guys, welcome back to Gladiators Tennis. Today we're reviewing a new addition to the Wilson lineup, well, relatively new, the Wilson Clash 100. I don't really know what it's supposed to offer, but I guess we'll see. Check out the specs. Alright guys, so I'm first, and the last Wilson racket that we've reviewed was the Wilson Ultra 100 or whatever. That was absolute trash. If this is anything like that, bye-bye Wilson. Adios.
Well, hello Wilson. This has nothing to do with the Ultra. Well, except for the fact that it's almost as fat, but that's not that big of a deal. First time stepping on court with this revolutionary, incredibly technological, advanced and magical racket, or whatever the whole commercial campaign was insisting on, I thought 300 grams on strong, fat, 100 inches of head size, 16 by 19 string pattern. This will not go well. Taking the first few shots though, I just couldn't believe how wrong I was. I could feel the ball on the string bed almost as good as with an 18 by 20 blade. The power wasn't over the top, and the spin capabilities were just great. I would say that this is a really well balanced frame. It doesn't just focus on raw power or insane control. Instead, it tries to do everything good enough. On the forehand side, I felt comfortable playing flat and aggressive. And whenever I felt like, I could just flick the wrist and the spin would smoothly get transmitted to the ball. Having such versatility in my hand, I could really mix up my tactics, confusing my opponents and not allowing them to read my pattern. Often, when you get a racket with these kinds of specs, you really lose on the field department, and it often impedes you from hitting slices and drop shots. Not the case with the Clash. It was almost provoking me to do a drop shot or go to the net at moments when I usually wouldn't do something like that. Backhands? Once again, a total surprise. I was expecting to have to shift to a more defensive and topspin kind of game style on the backhand side, but I actually ended up playing like I usually do, sometimes producing some sexy down the line winners and passing shots. At the same time though, I had no problems playing deep backhands with topspin when I was forced to do so. As I mentioned earlier, I was coming up to the net quite often, because this racket really provides you with that security of approaching. When you're at the net though, not so much. The volleys were probably my least favorite shot, as I was feeling a lack of stability on impact and wasn't managing to direct my volleys with sufficient solidity. That still didn't prevent me for some reason from going up to the net every second point. Usually, when you lack stability on volleys, the same thing happens on the returns. Once again, not the case. Well, the forehand returns were just alright. I couldn't really hurt the opponent with them, but wasn't missing too much. The backhand returns were fire. I could literally come up to the net and win the point after performing an aggressive backhand return of a second topspin serve. Flat serves felt good. What? No matter if it was a T serve or a wide serve, it was just boom, boom, boom. Spin on the second serves was also totally achievable. Not just achievable, but like phew. Also, did I mention the stiffness of the racket? If you're worried about your elbows or pain in any other part of your body, this might be a good one for you. Should I talk about design? Well, it's really subjective, but this one doesn't really turn me on that much. Honestly, I don't really understand why I'm not seeing more of these on the tour, because it's really not a bad racket. If you want a frame that can provide spin, power, control and feel in adequate amounts, and you like to mainly play on the baseline, it might be the one. Oh, also if you're starting out, or if you're worried about injuries. Alright, I know why it's not that popular. It's just too versatile.
Guys, for more reviews like this of rackets that nobody asked for, subscribe and hit the bell and comment and like. Shit. Alright, well this was way better than I was expecting it to be. Let's see what you think about it, Nikki.
Judging by the looks, so far not so good.
So far not so good, by the looks.
I feel like Wilson should start thinking about changing their design pattern. Alright, do not get me wrong, the racket looks nice with this combination of black and red, which is in my opinion the best color combination for a racket if you are going for an aggressive look. Though Wilson has been using the same design pattern for quite some time. I'm talking about that gray, that looks just a bit out of place. That's just my opinion though. Apart from the design, this frame is a really good choice for heavy hitters, those who like to slap flat balls. I felt like I could hit the ball as flat as I wanted and it would still somehow make it inside the white lines. Unfortunately, there were moments where I was getting carried away and overestimating my forehand capabilities, hitting them so flat that the ball flew very far out. So it is important to control this desire and make sure that you manage the power. Although it is really good for flat shots, it was very difficult to generate any spin. I felt a lot of inconsistency in spin delivery. I was managing to hit some shots with a lot of topspin and some just didn't catch that flick of the wrist at all. Backhand was a love story though. The shots felt clean and very consistent. As most of my backhands are flat, it was very easy to hit them with good placement. As I mentioned previously, this is a very good racket choice for players who like to hit flat balls as it performs very well with this type of strokes, even though you wouldn't say so by looking at the specs. Talking about flat balls, let me tell you about the returns. They were solid. Most of the serves came very fast, especially if you are playing against Grisha. And it is important to have a racket that is able to block these balls. If we're talking flat returns, this Wilson Clash is a perfect choice, because I was able to successfully return quick serves with ease. Unfortunately, this is the only return shot that I was feeling comfortable executing. I'm a guy who likes to return with topspin, especially second serves, and it was very difficult to manage this shot. These strokes felt very unnatural. I couldn't generate enough spin, and most of my returns landed short or too deep. Therefore, I had to shift my game towards more aggressive, forward advancing returns, as that was the only way for me to somehow comfortably return. When it came to serves, it felt like I was able to hit them flat and quick, but struggled to generate spin. I had the same issue as with the forehands. The racket was very inconsistent with its spin delivery. My player profile recommendation for this frame would be an aggressive, all-court player who likes to play flat and risk it from time to time. While players who like to play with more spinny shots and somewhat consistently, you could try this one. But I would recommend to check out other options before trying out the new Clash.
Ari!
Yes, natural position, yes.
How is sunbathing?
Yeah, very good, very necessary for me. Yes.
Look what I got for you.
Wilson, the best thing ever. I love it. Wilson.
Are you like sponsored by Wilson or something?
The look is garbage.
Oh, okay, you're not.
I was hyped when this racket came out, because I've never seen a racket with as many pre-launch commercials as the Clash. Plus, I'm always very excited whenever Wilson releases something new. At the end of the day, it's my favorite racket brand. Well, maybe because it's endorsed by Roger Federer, and everything that Roger looks at or barely touches becomes something automatically holy or saint for me. Moving on. Fortunately, I remembered that we're talking about the Clash, not Roger. So, this frame is very surprising. The playtest gave me more questions than answers. It's a very complete racket, so I don't really understand why it's so unpopular on and off the Pro Tour. For example, even though it's not a stiff racket, the power was on point. I was able to easily escape from defensive position thanks to some mighty strong ground strokes. Serves felt solid as well. I wasn't chasing after powerful bombs, but still I got some decent power when directing the ball on the kick serve and the slice body serve. Well, overall, I had like a pillow in my hand. Every shot felt soft and squashy. The impact was very heavenly. I think you can kind of notice that I like the new, impeccable, revolutionary Clash. After this experience of mine, I would definitely recommend this racket, especially to those players who want to enjoy a capable and soft racket that might help you avoid wrist and arm injuries.
Talent!
Maybe it's not perfect for those who are looking for an extreme racket with an excessive power or mega control, but it's nice and soft, like a teddy bear. I like a teddy bear. They're like, you know, nice and soft.
Alright, the conclusion.
Okay, conclusion, let's go. Here are the scores.
Guys, for the playtest, we used Luxilon Adrenaline 130, and we strung it at 25 kg. Yeah, guys, for more. Never take your eyes off me.
Butterscotch, it doesn't exist. I told you it doesn't exist.
Guys,
Damn.
play test. Guys, for more reviews like this of rackets